Okay. I still can't.
Hello, welcome. Oh, sorry, mate. I'll do that. Now you can see me. Hello. Hello, Mikey. Hello, everyone. Come on. Come on. Right. I'm having technical problems tonight. Can you hear me again, Mikey? Can you hear me? Am I coming through? Sorry. If I knock the USB cable from this microphone into my computer, my mic goes off. Then it comes back on again. Okay, so first of all, big shout out to Billy and Super Tiny and Tripod and Sarah Davis and Jin Stitcher in the chat, Jan Wallace as well. If you would like to join them in the chat, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button and wait for a minute, and you'll be able to join them opining on what's going on over in the States. So, Mikey, do you want to give us an update? What's happening? What's happening, man? What's happening? Yeah? Everything's fine. Fine. Oh,
There's
hang on,
not
hang
been
on,
a
hang on.
mute.
Oh, sorry, mate. We couldn't hear you. You were silent. You're going to have to start again. Sorry, I told you we were having tech problems this morning. I don't know why that went to
Okay.
silent. Right, we can hear you now. You're coming
Um,
through loud and clear. Go on, say it
there,
again.
uh,
Say it
there's
again.
nothing to see here.
Yeah?
Everything's going swimmingly.
Oh, is it?
We're not.
Okay. All right. I was a bit
It's not
concerned
the.
about Trump and, his incoming invasion of Panama and Greenland. Two countries I didn't think anyone would want to invade, but there you go.
Like, what does he really think? Does he think he's Egypt? Is that what he thinks that this is? That he can just Egypt his way around and just like, see, once I get my own canal, see, and then we start drilling, see, and like, first of all, Donald Trump, you're like 7,000 years old. So if you were gonna do this, you should have started in like early 40s, late 50s.
Yeah.
Bro, you're 80. You be
Yes.
out there, he can't even do a rally no more. He has to do like these little abbreviated rallies. He'd be out of breath.
Oh, that's
I
not
can
true.
spell
That's not
them.
true. He can ramble on for 3 hours still. He can still do it.
Nah, but at least like back in the day, it would be like new stuff every time. He'd be talking about stuff that hasn't happened yet. He's like, and then shit, fuck. Then they tell me Hannibal Lecter's bad, and there was like, who the fuck was talking about Hannibal Lecter? Like he's gone, dude. Like
He's a bit obsessed with Hannibal Lecter.
That's why Elon's the president. And also thank you everybody. I know I'll never get credit for it, but day uno, I put the hashtag out there. You can check the record. And now it's become a thing. And now all the big news things are feeding into the psyop. The touchy-feely boy can't stand someone being a bigger boy than a better boy than he is. And
Yes,
it's driving them insane.
it
I think he
is.
just I
In
think
the
he just
funniest
truthed
possible
about
way.
it. I
Yeah,
heard he truthed
he needs
about
to
it.
send the truth out, and then it'll be all right. But I mean, this is
He truthed
bonkers,
it.
isn't it? This is objectively bonkers. What is happening right now in
Yeah.
America? Like to have the president who's about to come in, effectively before even becoming president, declaring war on another country. Just did he read a National Geographic article about the Panama Canal and thought I'll have myself that? I mean, what's his thinking here? What's his thought process?
He said, it was too generous of a gift. That gift that we just built shit in your country for our own good.
Well, the issue here is like he doesn't know the history of Panama. He doesn't know the history of anything. But I mean, America kind of forced Panama to become independent from Colombia because it wanted to build the canal.
Correct.
And then for years, Panama was left as a basket case country, a third world developing nation. It was only once the canal was handed back to the Panamanian people in 1999 that Panama started actually making a bit of wodge, started making a bit of money. And Trump doesn't like that. He doesn't like other people making money. But there
No,
you go.
let's not pretend like, the Panamanian canal service is 100% on board, completely legal, run by a bunch of monks who would never ever dream of doing anything corrupt. I mean, look, they got a good deal going, and people are gonna hustle when they're gonna hustle. But to then
I
have
don't.
this, but then
I
to have a grifter from New York who can't even have a 501c3 nonprofit with his name on it anymore, to have him come in and say, you know what, I think we're gonna take back the deal. It's like, shut up, dude. You're done. You're done, dude.
I think that I mean, my dealings in Panama, I mean, like when it comes to the international shipping thing, I mean, they're usually pretty straightforward because they need the ships, don't they? And there's going to be another canal that's being built by the Chinese, I believe, across Nicaragua. So I don't know if, I don't know. I don't know if this
Well, the
is,
wa well, the water that they're using to lift the boats for all the lock and for the separate locks and all that stuff down there, that's their drinking water, and they're just like, well, money,
well,
and people are like, but I would like water, and they're like, but money.
yeah,
So like,
that's been happening, yeah. No, but
so the fact
that's to
the
do
fact
with the
that
drought
America,
as well. That's to do with the drought. There's not been as much water because of climate
right,
change, and yeah, as a
and
result,
it
water
and
levels are low. But they've addressed that by reducing the number of ships that are allowed through the canal. Have reduced the capacity of it because it was wasting so much water out to the sea.
not if Trump takes it over.
Well, yes,
That
yeah,
bitch is gonna be
but
wide open,
the
and that place is gonna turn into a goddamn desert.
well, what I was thinking, I mean, like the Panamanian people don't stand for shit. There was a new copper mine, I think it was a copper mine or something that was going to get built in Panama, and the Panamanian people were like, "Hell no, you're not building a mine, you bastards!" And they basically shut down the country. The thing is with Panama, it's really easy to shut down the country because there's like only one road that goes from David City up to Bocas del Toro, and so if
Single
you want
point
to
of
close
failure.
that road, it's very simple to do. It's literally a 2-lane track. It's not
Yeah.
a freeway or anything. And yeah, people do. They shut down the roads because they're like, we're not having this. So yeah, I can't see the stand for
Protest
that.
of a protest of two cows.
But from my experience, from quite a lot of experience of being there, living there, there's a lot of Americans over there who are massive Trump supporters. Is there a chance that if America tries to invade or something, are those Americans going to get put into internment camps? Could the Panamanian people put them in internment camps? It'll be like Prison Break season 3, Panama for some reason.
I don't think the road is currently closed. So if you are there, maybe you shouldn't be there. Maybe being there is not a good idea. Maybe you should be somewhere else.
Well, if you support Trump, then and you live in Panama, he could be about to destroy your lives. I mean, if you own property over there, the Panamanian
Or
government have got a good excuse to take it off you because you
or
might be
or
an enemy combatant for all they know.
maybe Trump will make them a duke.
A Duke of Panama.
Yeah. They'll just give them different states,
Yeah,
little fiefdoms
yeah.
down there for them.
Attila's saying France started building the canal. The US took it over when they ran out of money. Yeah, when France started building it, it was part of Colombia, and also it was the same guys who built the Suez Canal, and they tried to build it all at sea level, which meant like cutting through an entire mountain, which is impossible at the best of times. It's even worse when you're in the middle of a tropical jungle, which is technically rainforest, and every time you dig a ditch, the rains come and just literally push the soil from around it back into the ditch. So yeah, it wasn't
It's
until
easy, Graham.
it's easy.
You just
Everything's
get
easy.
you just get a glacier.
Simply,
Use a glacier,
yeah,
10,000 years,
yeah.
done.
Yeah,
Finished.
mate. I think it
You
takes
should try
longer than
that.
10,000 years, mate. I think it's got to take longer
And,
than
the,
that, surely.
and when they're finished, you get beautiful Great Lakes full of fresh water.
Are they drinkable, though, the Great Lakes? Can you drink that
Yeah,
water, or is it absolutely toxic?
I drink it every day.
Really?
Yeah, my water comes from Lake Michigan. It's piped out here.
Oh, wow. I would have
Mhm.
thought it might be a bit, you know,
No, it's good.
unsuitable for human consumption with all the
No, it's
power
good.
boats and things running around on it.
It's okay. I mean, I mean, there's not that much boat traffic.
Okay. All right.
They don't use it for like shipping and all that stuff like they used to.
Well, isn't there a big problem down in like states like Nevada where they're running out of water? California as well, they're running out of water in certain areas. Are they going to
Yeah.
pipe water down from the Great Lakes? Is that the plan? Is that what they're going to go
No,
for?
no, they can't have any. It's ours. There's
Fair
not
enough.
enough. There's not enough. There's
Yeah.
only enough for
We
us. If
got
you want some, you got to move over here and you got to deal with the winters.
we got a super chat come in from Brad W. Thank you very much to Brad. Graham got out in the nick of time. Yes, indeed, I did. Fans started. Oh, I read that one. Should be noted that for the aerospace industry, the Panama Canal is pretty vital for moving hardware between California and Florida. Yeah, so the idea that they're gonna shut it off to American boats going through is just gonna be insane. I mean, what's America gonna do if they say you can't have any more of your boats coming through here? That'll
This
shut down the American economy.
this is the fuck around find out period. This is what happens when you put a 13-year-old who hasn't had his Ritalin filled in 7 semesters. Like this is what you get. Like he is not fit to be in office. It's so obvious.
Well,
It's so obvious. So if they want to keep pretending like, oh, this is gonna make us rich, what about closing the fucking Panama Canal is gonna help improve your life?
well, exactly,
Where?
exactly.
Where?
I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat because obviously our mics weren't working at the beginning of the show. So big shout out. I'm Graham Hughes. I'm joined by Mikey Famine over in Chicago. Shit, sorry, mate. I mixed you up with Brenna. She was
We
in
look
California.
alike.
Yeah, you're in you're in again. You're in Chicago. I've had a glass of wine, mate. That's it. I'm off my head now.
Done.
I'm getting old. Getting old. Only need a glass of wine. I can't talk anymore. So no, it's mad that we spoke last week, didn't we? And since then, Elon Musk nearly got the American government shut down. He stridently did something really good for all those Musk fans out there, all those Muscovites, all those
Muskrats.
He took $200 million from research into pediatric cancer. Children with cancer. There was a research grant or research, money coming from the government, and he had that stripped out of the funding bill from Congress, which got signed into law the other day. Well done. Well done to all the people who support Elon Musk uncritically.
There was something else that got taken out too.
It's something that I feel like we should bring up time and time again, Mikey.
That's
Kids
his.
with cancer.
He doesn't care about humans.
Richest man in the world took out $200 million of other people's money and said you can't spend that on researching childhood leukemia.
Right.
Wow.
Because we have priorities, and your kid with bone cancer, not my problem. Not my problem, he says.
What a time to be alive.
And people clap when this guy comes around.
Yeah.
Like what?
People are like, oh, he's a genius. He's a very stable genius. So we've had that. We've had Trump declaring war on Panama, and today we've had the release of the Matt Gaetz inquiry investigation.
Can I read something?
God. Go on.
Can I read something for you real quick?
Yeah, go on.
So this is from, I think, the Wall Street Journal. I don't know who this is from. WDSU.com. Okay. They're saying this is one of the things that got taken out of the bill. Restricting investments in China. Also stripped from the bill was a provision that would have limited U.S. investments in China, particularly in the technology sector. I wonder which part of technology.
Oh, was it electric cars by any chance?
Democrats have slammed the removal of the measure, arguing that the absence would benefit Elon Musk, who helped derail the bipartisan package on Wednesday. Musk's investments in China and ties with its government have only grown over the last few years alongside his growing involvement in American politics. Rep. Rosa DeLaura, ranking member of the House Appropriations Committee, says. So it's no surprise that he wanted it out of the bill, she concludes. So yeah, he wanted it ransacked because he doesn't want his electric car deals and his AI deals that he has with the Chinese government to go up in smoke. So he said, torpedo the bill and get rid of that cancer too.
Yeah.
He said, keep my stuff in, get the research for kids' cancer out, keep my stuff for electric vehicles and AI in. So there you go.
What a nightmare of a person. And yet there are still stands out there who swear to God that Elon Musk, they want Elon Musk
So
to be their
smart.
daddy. They want Elon. They're so devoid of any kind of dignity of themselves, any kind of self-respect. They look at
Yeah.
these men like Trump and like Elon Musk and Boris Johnson and Orban and Putin, and they go, I want you to just tell me what to think. Tell me how to behave. Just give me the
think
orders.
for me.
Think for me. I can't think. I need my daddy to think on my behalf. And there's millions of people like that. Lazy, feckless dickheads who just want to watch the world burn while they hero worship an absolute gobshite who takes literal millions of dollars away from children with cancer.
But he could just take it off of there and be like, dude, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. No one would bitch.
Yeah.
No one would complain. Everybody would be like, you know what, Elon, maybe we were wrong about you. He could have just paid for it. It's like 0.01%. It's like a penny to him.
Yeah.
It's like literally a penny to him. He's worth 270 billion and it's 290 mil. Like it's a penny to you, dude. It's like you could have just paid it. You would have made it back in 45 minutes from your interest from your bullshit. Like what an absolute greedy monster.
Yeah.
When you have all the money and you try to whatever. But hey, he's a super cool dude. Hashtag Elon is the real president.
well, he is. So, so this report on Matt Gaetz, which we need to move on to, I guess, I suppose we need to talk about this. We've known about this. This is one of these mad things, right? Where we know that it's a bit like Luigi, right? We know he did it, right? He said that he is not guilty, but we all know he did it. Like, he totally did it.
Hey, it's not murder. It was self-defense.
Yeah, it was self-defense. They're shooting that guy in the back after crossing a couple of states to get there. Well, more than a couple. He came from Georgia, didn't he, on the Greyhound bus? So, yeah, that's...
His life was in danger.
Yes.
Stand your ground, I thought.
Yeah. Just fascinating. So, yeah, we know that the crime had been committed, and we just didn't know the details of it or the evidence, I guess, that's stacked up against Matt Gaetz. And normally, when the House does an inquiry into someone like this, they don't release the findings if they're not a sitting member of Congress anymore. But in this case, they decided to make an exception. And I like to point out,
sometimes historically they have.
Yeah. And what the interesting thing is, isn't the panel that released this, isn't it majority Republican? Are they eating themselves, Mikey? Are they eating themselves already?
It's funny because when you have a den of vipers, sometimes the vipers have to, hold things over people's heads and gather secrets about each other and make these, kamikaze packs where it's like, oh, okay, well, if he goes down, then he takes me down. I'm taking that one down, and that one's gonna take that. And there's this domino effect. So because Matt Gaetz was getting threatened after, so it's complicated because there's one level which is the Epstein stuff, which he was like all about releasing, and then like some Republicans are trying to hide. And then there's the stuff about the insider trading, which all sides want them to shut up about. So it's a kind of a thing where it's like Beetlejuice, which is actually probably his real name. So when Beetlejuice says, "Hey, we should stop all these politicians from insider trading," now all of a sudden they have a problem with his known behavior. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, they're trying to get back at me. It's like, no, you became too problematic for what you were worth. So they've all been collecting secrets on each other. So as soon as he decided that he wanted to open up an investigation about insider trading, Nancy Pelosi and the Republicans decided, you know what, we should look into this dirty little boy, Matt Gaetz. And where there's smoke, there sometimes seems to be fire, and a lot of underage and expensive fire.
It does seem to follow Trump and his entourage around like a bad smell, doesn't it? The whiff of paedophilia. But they didn't find any evidence that he knew the girl that he paid money to have sex with her on multiple occasions was actually 17. and they didn't find any evidence that he had transported any sex workers across state lines, which is what landed his busy mate in jail. They didn't find any evidence of that, but they said, there might be more stuff out there that we didn't find. But it's now up to the DOJ to do an investigation. Do you think they're going to do an investigation? This is the guy that Trump wanted to be Attorney General of the USA, a guy who, on at least 20 occasions, was seen doing mad drugs, doing cocaine and ecstasy, smoking cannabis, and and paying women to have sex with him. All the usual stuff that you expect with scumbag politicians, and he was going to be the Attorney General.
But that's the thing. He's got the key to the vault with the secrets in it. So if he exposes, so would you rather, he's the one who can reveal everybody's insider trading and wrongdoing, which is why, I don't know, Nancy Pelosi's been in office for what, 755 years? She's only had public office jobs. How do you get to $1 million, lady? How do you get to hundreds of millions of dollars? From insider fucking trading. These people don't work. So they get their salary from Congress, which is like 100-something thousand, and they get whatever it is from they're not.
What does Nancy Pelosi's husband do?
I can look that up. He's at
home now. Money. Our Prime Minister made shitloads of money out of his wife's dad owning Infosys, huge IT company in India. Maybe £700 million he's worth, which is a lot. It's nearly $1 billion. Paul Ewan, while Mikey's looking up what Paul Pelosi does. Thanks for the super chat, mate. £2 super chat. Is the new power couple Elon Don or Mumps? Mumps. Mumps. Elonald. Can we say Elonald?
Elonald Mumps.
Elonald Mumps. That's the person who comes down your chimney and burns your house down with you in it.
This here from Google or Wikipedia. Paul Francis Pelosi is an American businessman who owns and operates Financial Leasing Services, Inc., a San Francisco-based real estate and venture capital investment and consulting firm. And who's his friggin' wife? And we're all surprised that this lady with all this insider information.
I'd guess his wife
also
has the name Pelosi. I think that they would both have the name.
It's just so strange.
Pelosi. But
he was the owner of the Sacramento Mountain Lions of the United Football League. Okay.
But he's been rich since forever, hasn't he? I mean, it's not.
They've been married a long time. She's been in office a long time. It's easy to make money in the stock market when you literally got somebody who's writing the regulations.
But wouldn't this be really, really, really simple to prove? Like, she would have had access to certain documents, and then
it's not illegal.
Gamble. What? Insider trading's illegal.
What they're doing and how they do it, it's not illegal.
How is it different then?
Because they wash it and spin it and dry it and then put it on the clothesline and do all their bullshit so that, the right people learn the right information so that their portfolio always does well.
Oh, okay. So they always,
So they always win somehow. They always
wins.
Out.
The Pelosi's always win. But don't know that. I mean, I'm sure that's pretty illegal, though. I mean,
there's tons of them doing it, and that's why Matt Gaetz was a problem. That's why they got sick.
Wasn't he a problem because he kept on having sex with underage girls that he paid for?
No, that wasn't the problem. They don't have.
Sounds like a problem to me.
Republicans do not have a problem with deviant behavior. They have a problem with people with deviant behavior that are not able to be controlled and that are going to whistleblow on some shit that they do not want them whistleblowing on. Like this shit is old. Like this report and all the him doing all this shit is old. They've been talking about him being wild and on drugs. I can't find it. They must have scrubbed it off Twitter. But to my recollection, there was a video. You can see him take a pinky.
But this guy's a cunt. He's a cast iron, dead set, 100% cotton-bottomed cunt. He's not a very nice man.
Bump on the congressional floor. You can see him bumping on the floor. So
okay, so I don't get. Okay, so but are you saying there's loads of politicians who solicit, prostitutes across state lines, underage to have sex with, and they're not being brought to light. And Matt Gaetz was singled out because he said, "I'm gonna expose Nancy Pelosi." I'm not quite following your logic here, Mikey, because why would the Republicans give a fuck about that?
It's not just Nancy Pelosi. He wanted to like legitimately go after the insider trading in Congress.
Why would he do that?
Because that was his thing as Matt Gaetz. He wants to make a name for himself. He's an attorney, so he wants to make a name for himself.
Oh, shit, I did just demonetize my video. Sorry. If anyone wants to throw in a super chat to compensate for the fact that we've now been demonetized by me talking about Matt Gaetz. And I'm pointing out that he is a C next Tuesday, a total C unit, a sea urchin. Anyway,
so he wanted to do that as his pet project. That's what got him elected. Was he said he was going to go after the swamp, go after all that shit.
That's what Trump said as well, though, isn't it? That's what they all say.
Right. And that's why Trump loves him. So him saying that he was going to go after those people and Trump saying, oh, Nancy Pelosi's part of those people, that's the connection. That's why he likes him. He's always been a MAGA dude. But the fact that he was like, yeah, you're going to get Nancy. Yeah. That's why he likes him. But that's why the Republicans and the Democrats who already had issues with him wanted to launch this investigation. It's because he wanted to expose everyone and they had to silence him, which is fine.
Couldn't he just still do that now? What's stopping him? He's not been put in jail.
Well, not yet. I mean, he's not
going to get put in jail because Trump's in charge of the DOJ. He's not going to go to jail, mate. Come on, he's rich. Rich people think he's rich and white. Come on, be sensible.
For now.
But I mean, why can't he just say it now then? If he's got the evidence and stuff about.
That's on him.
What do you mean it's on him? Like, he just released this report saying he's a massive nonce. Surely it's in his interest to say, well, actually, they're only saying this because of all this information I've got about insider trading that they've been doing.
That's what he's been saying.
Has he? I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
All I've heard is he said, I have nothing to do with any of these people that are saying that I did all these things. This is a political witch hunt. Without foundation.
He jumped up on the mic several times.
To say that everyone's insider trading. Yeah. How did he make his money?
I forget which. I think he was some sort of attorney.
See, because he's very rich. I mean, he's not. If he can afford all that cocaine and hookers and to pay women tens of thousands of dollars, I mean, he must have been pretty buoyant.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. Rep. Matt Gaetz took shots at fellow GOP House members over alleged insider trading at CPAC. Yeah, he said at CPAC. Let me see if I can find the clip. Or find the transcript at least. CPAC transcript. I can't spell today.
Would this not be a case of the pot calling the kettle black? Like, is this not essentially him doing the Trump thing of accuse your enemies and Nazi thing of accuse your enemies of that which you are guilty yourself? Isn't that just more of this sort of?
The Democrats are not all liberals. Most of them are corporate Democrats where they do what their donors tell them to do, but they, put on the kente cloth for Black History Month and they do all the, they'll do all the pageantry, but they have no leftist philosophies. They have
it's a right-wing party, progressive. Mate. It's a right-wing party. It's the conservatives.
Yeah, that's the Democrats and the moderate conservative or moderate Republicans, and then there's MAGA, right? And then there's like the progressive left, like that's the.
So I just thought up to this point that basically Matt Gaetz's actions were so egregious that that this is why they were looking at what he did, because his mate went to jail for these same crimes, didn't he? Yeah, it's there lots of people in.
How long ago did his mate go to jail?
That's about 5 years ago, wasn't it?
That's what I'm saying. They didn't have a problem with it.
Well, they seem to. I mean, they did an investigation into him. That's been going on for ages.
And the Republicans helped them snuff it because he wasn't a problem. But then he became a problem. They're like, you know what? Put the report out. Since you don't want to play ball no more, put the report out. That's the tension there.
Tony Booth Leiden there. Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. That's very kind of you at Christmas time for a super chat. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget, Gaetz brought McCarthy down. Revenge, maybe. This is the old Speaker of the House. You need one person to whinge and the win G was Matt Gaetz. So do you think that the Republicans had a beef with him from that? They felt like they were undermined by the fact that they then had to have, what was it, 16 rounds of voting, was it, to get Johnson elected as Speaker of the House? It was really embarrassing.
Maybe more. But that, I think that was part of it. It's like y'all don't take me seriously, and that was his move. He's like, all right, fine. I'm recalling the speaker. We're voting again. Fuck it. Since that's the game we're gonna play, and everyone wants to drag my name through the mud. Like, I'm not on Matt Gaetz' side at all. I hope he does go to jail. I hope they do find something to pin him on, whether it's like the money.
But you're parroting some of the lines that will be said by the Trump supporters. Who'll say this is a political takedown. To stop this Nancy Pelosi insider trading stuff from coming out, and he knows all about it, and he's just not telling people because
it's not just Nancy, it's the left and the right. Like that, like bro was about to say too much, and he had to go. Here, let me see if I can.
Why can't he just say it now? He's not even a member of the House of Representatives anymore.
Because he needs to get paid. He needs to get paid.
Paid for what?
He needs a job. He left his seat.
He's on OAN. He's on OAN. He's on the bloody America far right network. So he can go on that, and he can say the reason why they came after me is because I was going to blow the whistle on all this insider trading that was going on, and that's why Nancy Pelosi's so rich.
Well, not just Nancy Pelosi. It's the left and the right that do it. Like you're like laser focused in on Nancy Pelosi. I specifically don't like her, and she's one of the main people that he was after. But
isn't she on her way out? I thought she was on her way out. Or is that the other guy? She's not minority leader anymore, is she?
But this is old. You gotta put this back a couple years. You know what I mean? Like this is like we're getting the fallout of it now, and we're getting the report now because he didn't get confirmed or he resigned from his election or whatever before he can get confirmed. Like that's why we're getting this. So this already happened. You know what I mean? So we're just finding out about it today, but you have to put this in the context that I think Trump was last year, or Trump, I think, is when all this started. And then it's gone through the Bible. So this was before, like he was talking about the insider trading thing. Let me see what year was this at CPAC? This one's at 22.
But that sounds like a standard, boilerplate thing that Republicans say, isn't it? Because they're guilty of insider trading. I can all but guarantee that they indulge in that kind of shit because they're Republicans and they have no morals whatsoever. At least the Democrats, in their defense, pretend to have morals. Some of them.
They lie.
But, I mean, if the evidence is there, it just seems a bit weird to me that this one man was going to be standing up against, the whole system. And he happened to be some filthy rich fucker who liked to have sex with underage girls. It just seems a bit...
That's why he's weird and strange and gross, and no one took him seriously. Because if Bernie Sanders was saying it,
all right, there you go.
It would hit different.
All right, so why isn't Bernie Sanders saying it? Is he on it as well, Mikey?
He's always been talking about the millionaires and billionaires and getting the money out of politics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what Matt Gaetz was on was like, I know that some people are doing some dirty things and we need to launch an you know what I mean? So he was very snide and very blunt to object in a china shop about it. And he was like, I'm going to start fucking some shit up. I'm going to get rid of these people. I'm going to do that. And then everybody was like, all right, well, where's the thing at? Oh, you know what we did find, though? We found a bunch of shit about you, man. And then he was like, see, now they're bringing up some old shit because they're mad because I'm going to investigate. And that's where all this began. So his loyalty to Trump has preserved him this long.
Right.
But as you can tell, that has an expiration date.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm probably a bit naive. I just thought that it was just a case of this guy was a gobshite, an absolute gobshite, and he was so gobshitey that he was even too gobshitey for the Republican Party, and they were like, we want nothing to do with this guy. I mean, he looks like a snide bastard as well, so I can imagine he got up the backs of a lot of his fellow Republicans because he's a proper MAGA swivel-eyed lunatic like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I just thought, well, if people didn't like him and they had found a way of getting, absolutely putting a nail in his political coffin, they would all line up to put those nails in, one each, until there's like 500 and odd of them. So yeah, I didn't think that it was because they wanted to shut him up. I just think that in this day and age, honestly, thinking that people do stuff to shut people up when we have the internet and anyone can say anything, and Trump can literally say anything he wants, and this guy's going to get protected by Trump for the rest of the time because they're bloody buddies. I don't know. I find it a little bit of a weird argument to make that, he knew things. I don't think he did.
I found his speech at CPAC. I'm furiously scrolling through the YouTube transcript because there's nowhere online that has it like just available. So I'm scrubbing through here. He starts it off with like greeting the swamp rats and all the other people. Like that's
Trump rhetoric though, isn't it? He's going on about draining the swamp last time he was.
I'm pretty sure he's talking to them.
Yeah. And Trump never drained the swamp, famously. He didn't build that fucking wall either. He said he was going to build. Why did no one mention the wall? Why did he never mention the wall, Mikey? Everyone forgot about the wall.
There would have been a wall. Well, it doesn't matter anyway because Kamala said she wanted a wall. So we lost that talking point. Because she went completely fucking right wing in a futile effort to grab people in the middle as if they would compromise on diet Republican when they can just have regular Republican.
This isn't regular Republican. This is diet Republican versus MAGA Republican, which is, quantifiably insane. Like I say, this last week we've had Gates, we've had Musk, and we've had Trump saying that he wants to invade Greenland, and the people of Greenland saying no.
Yeah, but it takes all the wind out of the argument when you say, "Hey, these guys are dangerous and their policies are racist, and they're a bunch of xenophobic bigots." Actually, I want to do all the same shit.
Yeah, and own a gun as well, which was something that she went on about quite a lot. Because all Americans need to be issued with a gun because it's the equivalent of a cup of tea. Makes you feel like you're part of your nation. I guess, having a little death machine in your house. Anyway, moving on.
We have more guns than electric kettles, that's for sure.
I would always defend the Mercator projection of the world map because it's good if you are on a ship and you need to know which way is north and south and west and east. Other projections that are more geographically inaccurate but more politically fair, or vice versa, don't work as well when you're on a boat, right? So I had no problem with the Mercator projection warping the North and South poles in the way that it did, because it is quite useful as a tool, and that's why people still use it to this day, hundreds of years after it was first invented. However, I now have a criticism of it, and which is this. Trump has obviously looked at a Mercator map of the world in which Greenland is the size of Africa and thought that is the most massive thing in the world. It's not the size of Africa. Island. It's tiny compared with that. It is the biggest island in the world, but it's tiny.
Australia is bigger.
Well, is that an island? Is it a continent? Which is it? Is it an island? Is it a continent?
It's an island continent.
Is it a dwarf continent?
Like Pluto. Okay, here, I found the thing. So here's it's if you guys find the speech, it's 10 minutes 16 seconds in. So I'll just read it because I can't. I was gonna do like the interpreter thing, but I can't. Congress should have a lifetime ban on becoming lobbyists or registered. This is Matt Gaetz in front of CPAC last February. Registered foreign agents should make it impermissible and disallowed by rule for anyone to accept a campaign donation from a lobbyist or a special interest PAC. Their sole purpose is to buy votes, and for the same reason you don't let the umpire bet on the game. Members of Congress should not be allowed to trade individual stocks. How about the ethics committee take up those reforms? Now, the Republican Ethics Committee chair, Michael Guest, who voted for the January 6th commission, has become a brilliant stock trader while in office, and I admired the obvious genius. He knew exactly the right time to buy online gambling stocks. His purchase in Evolution. So
okay. So this is earlier this year, after he knew he was being investigated by the ethics committee, the same ethics committee that had gone after Trump, right?
This is the one that I could find the speech for, but this isn't the first time he said this.
But this is obviously targeted towards the ethics committee because he's pissed off at them, isn't he? He's like, fuck you guys, but you did bad things as well. And they're like, well, we don't take loads of drugs and fuck underage girls. Well, maybe Nancy Pelosi does, but
here,
she looks like the type.
But on the left, as a progressive, oh, do tell, Maddie Poo Poo, tell us all about it. Because all of y'all can go to jail. How about that? It leaves a lot of space for progressives and people who actually give a shit about this country. Lock them all up. I don't care. Let the boys speak. And also, let's hear this ethics report. And let's get all parties in jail that need to be in jail.
Mikey, we've got an issue now in the UK with Elon Musk saying that he wants to give $100 million to the leader of the Refuck Party, a guy called Nigel Farage. I don't know if you know him. He's got the face
Nigel
of a frog. Yeah, he's so fucking ugly. He looks like he's fallen out the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down and then been beaten with sticks from the ugly tree for at least 17 days. That's how fucked up his face is. And
he's like Smeagol.
He was once in a plane crash and that actually improved his features. That's how ugly he is.
But he spared the ground with his face.
God, I hate him. I hate him so much. When he carks it, mate, I'm going to dance a fucking jig. I tell you, I don't care how stupid jigs look. I'm going to dance a fucking jig. Anyway, so yeah, we are really worried in this country now about the influence of foreign countries paying money, or foreign individuals, foreign citizens paying money into our electoral system. And this is something that we hypocritically lecture the rest of the world on. You know, we go around going, oh, you need more transparency. Oh, you need more press freedom. Oh, you need more democracy. Meanwhile, hoarding all the power for the mega rich in our country and setting things up so if you have enough money, and, you know, Enoch Musk certainly does have enough money, you can pay for Refuck to take over the UK. You can pay for the AFD to take over Germany. You can pay for Donald Trump to take over, you know, the free world, Mikey, the free fucking world. So we're really worried about lobbying at the moment in the UK. But unfortunately, the Labour government seems a bit blasé about the whole thing and say, well, you know, we'll beat him with our arguments.
Yeah, they're going to Democrat you guys. They're going to corporate Democrat you guys.
We're going to beat him with the arguments. Mikey, thing is, Democrats do occasionally win elections, you know, and Labour win on average in every century. They're in charge for 33 years of that century, and the Conservatives are in charge for 66 years of that century, or 67, I guess.
Not enough.
Yeah. So yeah, winning the argument is not necessarily in Labour's DNA. And so loads of suggestions have been made. And I just want to say something that was pointed out to me by a friend of mine who is not a UK citizen, but a UK resident. Because a lot of us have been saying you need to be a UK citizen to be able to give money to a political party, and it should be capped at, say, £10,000 or something. That's it. That's all you can give as an individual or as a company, right? And all the subsidiaries of that company can't give, you know, 10 grand each. And someone pointed out to me, don't say UK citizen, say UK resident, because there's millions of people who've lived in the UK for years, maybe decades, who are not actual UK citizens, but can vote in the elections and referendums and things like that, because they're residents. So yes, important, especially in the post-Brexit world. Shazek32, the Mercator projection is also good for compensating for the small size of a certain archipelago off northwest Europe filled with Brexity gammons. The Mercator projections are a good map to use if you need to get around. It's a practical map, you know, not necessarily
around the equator. Don't go out towards the edges because that's where all the distortion is.
No, but it's not, because it's pointing north. So north is always up. Wherever you are on that map, no matter like how north or south, you know, south you are, it's straight up. You know, you imagine it like it's all at the top. That's why all the points at the top are 0 degrees longitude, because it just spreads itself out. But if you go north from anywhere on the planet, due north, you'll end up at the North Pole. So it makes sense in that respect. But yeah, it does give an undue amount of space to Greenland, Canada, and Russia. It makes Russia look a lot bigger than it actually is.
Tis warped around the polls, that projection.
Yes.
I was in ROTC, 3 years or 1 year Marines and 3 years Air Force. So I had to fold maps. I had to learn maps, the
Yeah.
elevation map, like all the
Cool.
weather,
Yep.
engines, all kinds of like old
Isobars,
garage. Yes, yes,
contour
for pressure.
lines. Yeah.
Yeah,
You learn all your
they made us,
symbols.
and it was like part of my fucking grade, dude. Like that
Oh,
was my
cool.
like as a sophomore, like that was like I had to fucking like guess which way the thunderstorm was going, or else I would like fail the test. I'm like, this is stupid.
Do you have
But
the
it's cool
things
now.
in
It's
the
cool to
US, the
know.
symbols like in the UK? I think if it's a cross on a circle, it's a church with a steeple, and if it's a cross with a square, it's a church with a tower. Do you have all that kind of crap?
You're talking about the pressure systems?
No, the ordnance survey maps. Just like when you're going, when you're
Oh,
walking, you have like an ordnance
oh,
survey
okay.
map and a compass
Well,
and a sextant.
that was if I was still doing what's it called, like Marines or maybe Army or something like that, maybe. But
Yeah.
we were Air Force, so we uh like a lot of projection maps from above and like weather because you're supposed to be a pilot, you know. So you learn piloty things.
Piloty important stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Apparently, the magnetic North Pole is on the march. It's moved again, which means
Good.
that a lot of because the runway strips for airports around the world are all they're all numbered based on the degrees from magnetic north that they are. So basically, all those loads of them will have to be repainted because the magnetic north keeps moving around a lot faster in the last few years than it used to. But
I
yeah,
blame the volcanoes.
yes, it's the volcanoes and the wind farms which kill birds and make
It's like a
whales sad.
it's like a bird cemetery. You go to a fucking windmill, you go to a wind farm, there are no birds. There are birds sitting at the bottom, chilling,
Yeah,
eating bird
yeah.
seed. They're not stupid. Like, I mean, he has freaking towers all over the earth with his name on it. You don't think any birds fly into your big stupid tower, dumbass, with your glass windows everywhere?
Yes, he does kill fuckloads of birds every year in his stupid Trump towers. One of the
Yeah.
things I was going to say about Panama, why Trump probably has a beef with Panama, because they had a Trump Tower in Panama City, and they decided that they didn't want it to be called the Trump Tower anymore, and so it's not the Trump Tower
It's a
anymore.
grudge. Yeah.
And so he's got a grudge against Panama for that very reason. It's very, very, very childish. But if he sends the American military to go and take the Panama Canal from a country that doesn't have an army, Jesus, man, what the hell? Like, seriously.
What are they going to do with it? Operate it? They don't know how to operate it.
Can't be that hard, can it? Just
Yeah,
a few
can't
locks.
be that hard. Famous last words. Can't be that hard, can it?
Yeah. But yeah, just
What's the worst that could happen?
Do you know what really pissed me off? That my island's in Panama. Like, I want it to be a Trump-free zone. I don't want to be worried about what dickhead Trump's going to do.
Listen, between the Canadians and the people in the UK, y'all laughed and laughed and laughed, and look what's happening. Pierre is about to win in Canada. He's gonna be the PM, and guess what he is? MAGA. Y'all are about to get Nigel Farage, and guess what he is?
We're not going to get
MAGA.
Nigel Farage.
And
Not gonna happen.
your poor little Ginger Island is about to be MAGA. Look,
Talking
I
of Ginger
tried to
Island,
warn you.
Marcus has entered the chat. Hey, Marcus, how you doing, mate? Merry Christmas. I hope you're well.
Marcus,
I hope you're all well. Your family?
look out for MAGA.
Marcus is one of our Ginger Island alumni. He's been there. He's been there. But yeah, I mean, the poison that is Trump. I mean, he is the fountainhead, isn't he, of this poison Kool-Aid
Hydra.
that is
Hydra.
that is about to take over many countries around the world because people can't be asked thinking for themselves because they're too fucking lazy.
MAGA is Hydra. I just put it together. It's the same group.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Hugo Weaving to come out with a red skull face.
And turn out it was the Nazis all along. Oh, it was the Nazis, was it?
He's gonna add that. He's gonna add Red Skull to the fucking cabinet. Like that's
Yeah.
where we're at now.
Yeah.
But again, they're horrible at leadership. They're horrible at governance. Like they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
he's fucked their majority to nothing. Like it's nothing now. So now nothing is gonna happen. And you better hope that they can hold on to the seats that they
I
have
have a
for the
question. I have a question, Mikey. You know the people who the Republicans who didn't vote for this bill, the funding bill, were
Yeah.
they doing that on behalf of Trump or were they doing that to spite Trump? Because I'm not quite sure how that worked.
No, they didn't care what Trump said because again, like some of these Republicans are in districts that were hit by the hurricane and stuff like that. That
Yeah.
money was in that bill.
Has
And
that
you're
been
just
taken
gonna
out now?
I think they put some of it in.
Right.
Um,
The childhood
but that,
cancer stuff didn't go back in though, did it?
no.
That's gone. And they were
And
waiting. Someone said in the chat they were waiting 10 years for that. 10 years
yeah.
for that money to research cancer for children. And Elon Musk, the richest
Because
man in the world, took it away.
because
Like anyone who owns
because
a Tesla, mate, just either sell it or drive it off a cliff. Not with you in it, obviously, but just get rid of it.
I mean, it's got if you put the autopilot on, chances are it'll take you off a cliff automatically.
I've started a petition in this country to ban Twitter X in this country, and I reckon I could get a lot. But the thing is, you've got to wait until you get like 20 signatures to get it started, and then you got to wait for the government to sort of give the thumbs up that it's a legitimate thing to do a petition over. So if we jump that hurdle, which we should, there were a lot of really daft petitions. I mean, there was one about having another general election, like 6 months after our last one.
Hey, roll the dice.
She didn't like the results of the election, and all the people who were signing this thing were either bots or people who voted for Brexit, who then told us we couldn't have another referendum after more evidence came to light that Brexit was going to destroy our economy, which it has done.
Y'all don't want to hear it, but y'all need to have another referendum and just take whatever lumps you got to take to get back in the EU. That's the quick answer.
Listen to
Y'all
the American.
don't like it.
Listen to the American. I
Hey,
never
I'm
thought
telling
I'd say this, but listen to the American. He knows what he's talking about.
You're just gonna have to risk it. You're just gonna because you're already fucked. Like you're already behind the 8 ball, so you might as well roll the dice again and try to get out of it.
Yeah.
You can just jump the 8 ball. That's all you can do at this point is just jump it because you're screwed.
Yeah. But I mean, if Twitter gets banned in the UK, that'd be massive, and also it would make the EU look towards doing it themselves because of the abuses that are going on there. So this week, Grok, which is Grok, it's such a horrible word, which is their AI thing, the robot that gets everything wrong, was that their new AI art engine came online, and it's got no restrictions whatsoever. So Supertansky did a wonderful picture of Musk, fat Musk on a throne surrounded by money that's on fire. And you could totally draw that using AI. I don't know if you can draw pornographic images of famous people.
Only one way to find out.
I'm not gonna find out. I'm not gonna go on Twitter to find out. It does seem to pose a clear and present danger, to borrow a line from a book and a film, to democracy, to our way of life, because you've got this mad South African apartheid, crazy ketamine-fueled motherfucker who arrested development, 13-year-old in his head, going, oh, this would be cool. Let's start a government department called Doge.
And Trump's so broke he has to listen and tolerate this dude. Like he can't afford anything without kissing this dude's ass, and that's got to be crushing him because he always likes to be the big boy, and he's got to keep going up to daddy for money.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna get rid of him. I think he's just gonna rub him the wrong way, and he's gonna try to do some extra bullshit shit, and then he's just gonna scare him off. I think he's gonna scare him off, and like SpaceX is gonna be like suspended. Tesla's gonna get suspended. Like all that stuff's gonna be like on the back burner. He's just gonna abscond because there's no way that those two assholes can populate the same pair of trousers at the same time. Like they just can't. They can't. There's no.
It's a disgusting image, Mikey.
They're like two magnet poles that are similarly charged, and you're just trying to, they're super strong neodymium magnets, and you're just trying to force them together. It's not gonna work. Like it's funny to see them like try to get close to each other, but this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
It can't.
Leapshin is pointing out there's no way you'll be able to ban Twitter not with VPNs. But yeah, I mean, people like me will use VPNs if you want to get something on the internet that we can't get in this country. But the vast majority of people don't know what a VPN is. The vast majority of older people who listen to, Nigel Farage don't know what a VPN is. And your big news organizations like the BBC won't be able to use Twitter anymore because it'll be banned in this country. So no one's going to use it in this country to get their news. It's going to descend into some sort of, Fortran kind of cesspit, which it already is. But the only people on there are going to be, Trump fanboys wanking each other off, going, "Oh my God, aren't we so clever? Crypto, and all that kind of shit." I mean, let them have it. If people want to use VPNs, go on it. And by the way, they've hiked up the monthly charge. It's $22 now a month.
Oh yeah,
$22.
VPNs are just sitting back like, oh my God, we can charge anything. Yeah. Because in the part of Project 2025, hi, fuck around and find out, people. What part of that Comstock Act to like ban the transport of all goods that could be used for in the use of an abortion or whatever, right?
Yeah.
This old ass thing. You know what's included in that?
Pornography.
You dumbasses. So you think it's bad now? Wait till that VPN bill hit every month.
No, I'm not talking about the VPN, Mikey. I'm talking about Twitter. You know the blue fucking cross, the blue tick thing.
Yes, follow me. Follow me.
Go on.
I'm connecting them.
Okay.
So just like the VPN prices are going up over there. Wait till they see the VPN prices over here once everything's completely unregulated. And these little incel motherfuckers can't get to porn anymore because they can't afford the $60 fucking for their VPN so they can get to their porn. Like,
oh wow, that's a good point. Actually, that's gonna be insane, isn't it?
They're gonna dick them over the porn. Like they're gonna be getting dicked. They're not gonna be stroked. They're gonna be getting stroked. Like that is what's gonna happen to them. They're screwed. They're screwed. I'm married with a kid. I'm good. I don't know what these young dudes are about to do because you're gonna be like, maybe the tape and the DVD will come. Maybe porn stores will come back and it'll be like a speakeasy where they'll have like a old school 90s the jacket full of CDs and like, oh, I see you want big bucks too.
Want to buy some porn? Hey kid, want to buy some porn?
We'll just have like USB sticks, DVDs. Just be like. Just because, hey man, this is too.
That's what it used to be, though. I mean, in the UK until fairly recently, I think it was the 1980s when pornography became legalized. Up till then, there were people going to jail with substantial sentences for allowing. This is pre fucking VHS video, so it was like stag films on no, it was on like disc. Super 8. It was on 8mm film, and it was like. You go into a shop and go, can you give me a reel of the special stuff? And they'll get caught and they'll get these substantial jail sentences for porn, which was legal in other countries. We had all these sex comedies in the 1970s, like Confessions of a Window Cleaner and stuff. And the version that we got had all the sex cut out, but they did make a version with sex in it. And that was sold to all the other countries in Europe. Because, if you're French or German or Spanish, and an adult, you could watch that, you'll be fine. But if you were British and an adult and you watch that, you'd go mad. You'll go mad, Mikey. You'll just go mad with lust and rage, go out and do terrible, terrible things.
All of the parks would just be full of orgies. Like, it would just be so much wanton sex.
Yeah, no one would get any work done. Everyone would just be having sex. Sorry.
How are the trains going to run on time? Engineer.
There was a film back in the day called No Sex, Please, We're British. Right? So my campaign to ban X is going to be called No X, Please, We're British.
There you go.
Boom! There you go. That alone is worth 1 million signatures, but I've still got to wait for them to give me the thumbs up for it. But when I do, I'm taking it to the very top, Mikey. I'm taking it to the very top.
And they're going to be so sad when they lose their Twitter too.
Yeah.
Because I think TikTok, like there's some problems, like obviously with these super mega corporations that deal in social media, because we're kind of still in the wild frontier on all this stuff, because we haven't really had these things didn't previously exist,
Yeah.
or at least not in the capacity that they exist now. There's never been a Twitter before. There's never been a YouTube before. Like we've never had to find out what the guardrails for these kinds of applications
Yeah.
to multiple societies across multiple time zones simultaneous. Like, I mean, we had a good run, but I think there should probably be a lot more regulation. Like, shout out to Australia for shutting it down for minors. They don't fucking need to be on here, dude. Like, as much as we as adults get hooked onto our phone and checking Twitter and checking Blue Sky and playing Clash of Clans, and then let me check this, and then oh, let me get my sports score, and oh, I just got a notification somebody just went live. Let me check that out for 5 minutes. Like, we're tied to our phones a lot.
Yeah.
Now try to like remember geometry with a phone. Like, we had like Nintendos, and that was our distraction. You can't provide the ultimate distraction for these poor little dum dums. Like, that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
And all they do is bully each other in the worst possible way. And now they're exposed to all like, everybody's gotten a fucking message from their best friend in like the last couple of years. It was like, "Hi, I miss you so much. Remember this picture of us?" And then you click the link, and then your whole shit's gone. Like, you can't have kids on there. Like, you gotta.
Is this
We
you?
don't need.
Question mark link.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't
yeah,
click
yeah.
on that.
Don't click on no
no.
links. If you see anything from Mikey Famine, I
Well,
don't send none of y'all assholes links. So
so-
don't click on shit from me.
Svax in Ukraine is saying, so from the Ukrainian experience, as long as the population is more or less on board with a ban or doesn't oppose it too much, it'll be a successful effort, which I agree with. I think enough people in this country do not use Twitter and don't give a fuck about Twitter because they're getting on with their lives. And actually, it's one of the least used social media networks, like compared with Instagram, compared with Facebook, compared with TikTok, which is about to be banned in the USA. More on that next week, I think, because we were a bit over time. And we've got Super Tiny saying you can easily hack the VPN companies too. I'm pretty sure my mum couldn't hack the VPN companies, mate. I don't know about your mum. I don't know how good she is with tech, but
And how do you and once this demand skyrockets, and oh, I can't afford Nord, or I can't afford X like name brand one, they'll go for generic Walmart version, like the Equate version, the cheapo, and who knows what's going on with that data.
Yeah.
And they're not going to care because they can't afford the fucking $40-$50 a month that shit's going to get skyrocketed up to. Look at fucking StreamYard. As soon as the pandemic happened, the StreamYard went from being $9.99 a month for as best as they could give you, and then eventually they got a 1080p. 1080p on StreamYard is almost $40, $50 a month now.
Jesus, I'm glad I don't use that.
For no reason. But the reason was a lot of very popular people got kicked off of their like dinosaur networks, and then they went to YouTube. They went online, and then they see that these YouTubers, these online people, are using a very basic, simple platform, and they're making tens of thousands of dollars from it. And they're like, "Oh, we're getting in on this."
Yeah.
Oh, $10 is way too cheap.
What was quite
same thing.
What was quite fantastic, I mean, just insane, was the takeoff of Zoom. Now we're using Zoom to chat now, and I know you still like to use Skype, but that was like that should have been Skype's finest hour. The pandemic, they should have just absolutely made so much money during the pandemic, but they just weren't ready. They were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But back sort of 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was traveling around the world, I like Skype was what I used to talk to people, do video messaging.
I think that was the first.
That's what everyone used.
The video conferencing. I think Skype was out there first.
I was in.
You had to have a Windows to do it.
I was in the UAE in July of 2010, and there was a big push over there, and in some other Gulf countries as well, to ban what they called the voice over internet protocol. So basically, any phone calls over the internet. And this was a thing massively pushed by the state-owned telecom company of UAE, which realised that no one was calling each other anymore on their fucking expensive phone lines because it cost £1 a minute, and everyone was just using the internet to make phone calls. And they were pissed about it, and video phone calls as well. And they basically wanted it banned. I don't think they ever got the ban in because by then I think things have moved on. But I mean,
late.
Yeah, this isn't a knee-jerk thing. Twitter's been around since 2008, I think. It's had a good innings, but it's been taken over by a lunatic megalomaniac who isn't putting safeguards in for the protection of minors and for the protection of just normal people who could do without disinformation being pushed down their throats every day.
Well, now that there's no reins, there's AI, there's deep fakes.
Yep.
When Elon sends the message, because everybody has to follow him like fucking Tom from Facebook, and all of his posts just show up in your feed constantly.
Like that time Apple made everyone have a U2 album that they didn't want.
Dude, I spent a month trying to delete that shit. I was so afraid. I still hate U2 to this day for only that reason.
I already hated U2, so for me it was like, fuck this shit. I threw my iPod away. True story. See you later.
But that's what were we talking about? I forgot now.
We were talking about how basically talking about the fact that Twitter has gone so far down in everyone's estimation. You were talking about the fact that you can deep fake anything now.
Oh,
the misinformation is just, and the disinformation is just off the fucking charts.
So Elon has the ability to make everybody with Twitter's phone buzz. Right, and then they're gonna crack their phone open. They're gonna take a look at it, and then they're going to watch whatever the fuck he tells them to watch. And who knows what kind of video it could be? Yeah. It could be, a fake assassination. It could be a fake riot. It could be a fake anything. Who is he to control people's free speech, to yell fire in a crowded theater, to sow chaos and disinformation and dissent? Who cares if it's all crypto scams and anti-vax and bigotry at its highest level, at its preferred, or not to mention just the straight up, just like I forget what they call it, but it's almost like electronic blackface. Well, they'll just take like the worst moments of a certain group of people, and it's blasted like on a loop 24/7. So like every other post you see is like a homeless person getting kicked in the face or something like that. All these little these little internal subconscious markers that they put on people to desensitize them to violence, to desensitize them to violence against women or violence against people of different ethnicities and stuff like that. Like this is all known. Like this is how you soften a people to become, or how you harden a people so that they just become monsters. Essentially, to do monstrous things. Now, where have we seen someone appearing to be charismatic, trying to turn groups of people against other people and harden them against the humanity of this? I just don't. I can't put my finger on it, but I've seen this before, and I can't remember.
The people you're talking about, it reminds me of Yahtzees. I think it was that lot, was it? Was that the people?
Maybe. I got the floor. No, not floor. I don't know. But it'll come to me in the middle of the night, and I'll just kick up the sheets screaming, Hitler. But this is how it happens.
Mussolini, Franco, Salazar,
Idi Amin, Pol Pot, Robert Mugabe. You gotta resist. You can't pull a Joe and Minka. You can't pull a them. You can't pull a TYT. You can't bend the knee. You don't kiss the ring. They're a bully. They don't have as much power as they think they do, and they're scared of you. So don't back down.
Yeah.
And that's what those look at 33 Republicans voted against Trump. None of them have been announced to Elon hasn't come out and said he's primarying anybody because he's a shit talker.
Yeah.
But it works on some people. Doesn't work on everybody.
It does. And I'm sure there'll be a big thing about, if we do get this, debated in Parliament, we need 100,000 people to sign it, and I think they would. If we got a petition to ban Twitter in Britain, and And then, you know, if it ever went ahead, you know, I'm not thinking our chances are great. But if it did, I mean, you'd have all the stories. The usual suspects would call out the woodwork to say, "Oh, but you're cancelling. It's cancel culture," and you can turn to them and say, "Was World War II us cancelling Hitler? Was it? Are those brave men and women who fought in World War II? Were they guilty of being woke? The woke mind virus going out to across Europe, so-called liberating it against the Nazis, and were they just trying to silence Hitler? Were they trying to cancel Hitler? Was that what it was all about?"
Well, according to Candace Owens, Hitler just wanted to make Germany great again. So stupid.
Because when were they last great? Ooh.
She said it would have been fine if he would have just stayed in Germany.
Jules says, "Shit's about to get dangerously darker in this country. We're so fucked." I don't know what country Jules is talking about, but it could be any country at the moment. It looks like we're fucked all around. But we're gonna be here. Do you know what? Up till the election, right? We were doing the statesides because it was kind of like we were talking about the election and what was happening in the election and Biden's terrible performance, in his debate with Trump. And then,
you think he's watched it? You think he's watched his debate performance?
No,
what percentage would you give it that he's actually watched the whole thing?
No way. I don't watch my own videos.
I'm at zero.
I'm gonna watch this
0.00% that anyone will ever show him before he dies that horrible debate.
I had it in my head that if Kamala won, there'd be no point in doing any more statesides. Like we'd have nothing to talk about. It'd be boring. And yet here we are. Trump's not even in power yet. And we've got these three mad as a bag of cut snake stories this week of Musk and Trump and bloody Matt Gaetz, and it's just Jesus Christ, man.
What
other can take it?
What other country can Trump pronounce? Because that'll probably be the next country that he wants to have a problem with.
That he can pronounce.
He can say Canada. He can say Mexico. So now he's got, Greenland. I can say that one. Like all the countries that he can pronounce, those are the ones that he wants. So if you have a hard to pronounce or hard to read country name, then you might be all right.
Azerbaijan is solid.
Oh, there's
Djibouti,
no way.
laughing its ass off. Guatemala,
No,
I think it's going to be all right. But Chad, you're fucked, mate. You are in so much trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, Chad's definitely on the way out.
Oh, Chad's done.
Yeah, Chad. I'm sorry, Chad. You had a good innings.
In Niger.
Well, he won't say that right, mate.
He won't say it right.
No, he won't say it right.
He knows. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows how to say it.
Anyway, thanks for coming on, Mikey. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to the super chats. I'll be back in the morning at 9:30 for a Christmas Eve, very Christmassy morning brew. And if you would like to join us for that, you'll be very welcome to. And until then, I'll say thank you very much for watching. Give us a like on the way out. And hello.
Subscribe to the Bin Podcast.
And watch the Bin Podcast. The link is in the description to Mikey's channel. So if you like Mikey, you can get on his channel. Get on the bin. Get on the bin, baby. And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and good night.